One morning, large purple spheres suddenly appear in Korea. The Air Force fires missiles at them to destroy, but the rockets have no effect. Then one day, a sphere appears at an army camp. The captain fires a rocket at it, causing a cloud of dust. Amidst this, the sphere activates, releasing a massive monster that begins attacking and killing soldiers. The monster kills many soldiers. Over time, these spheres start activating all across the country, attacking and killing people. The Korean army struggles to fight these aliens as they start running out of soldiers. Seeing this situation, they decide to give military training to college students. But instead of taking it seriously, the students treat it like a joke and start having fun. The girls take it to the next level by dressing up as if they were preparing for a beauty pageant before training. However, during the training, a sphere falls from the sky, releasing many small aliens that attack and start devouring the students. Many more soldiers also die in this attack. Will the surviving students be able to face these aliens? To find out, let's dive into the detailed explanation of the movie. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. At the start of the movie, we see huge purple spheres in the sky. Their origin is unknown. The Korean air defense tries hard to destroy them, but bombs have no effect. Eventually, they decide to leave them alone. A year passes, and one day a sphere falls in an army camp. The commander immediately orders the soldiers to fire at it. The scene then shifts to a school, where a teacher announces that there won't be any annual exams this year. Instead, students must perform well in army training for admission next year. This means that the Defense Ministry has made military training mandatory for all students. Some students who are not keen on studying are thrilled, but others, including mama's boys and daddy's little girls, are worried about the training. Soon, an army truck arrives at the school, from which Captain Lee Chun and his soldiers step out, ready to train the students. The next day, all the students arrive at school with their essential items, ready for army training. However, they treat it like a game, especially the girls, who even go as far as putting on makeup before heading to the training ground. Soon, they are scolded and brought to the field, where they struggle immensely during the exercises and can barely move afterward. Back in the room, a boy named Kim shows his classmates a video on his phone, in which the army is killing all animals. This shocks everyone, and a chubby student explains that the army does this when a dangerous virus spreads in the city to prevent infected animals from attacking humans. One of the boys asks him how he knows this, and he says he saw it in a movie. This leads to everyone playfully teasing him. Hearing the commotion, Captain Lee Chun enters the room and demands to know what's going on. One of the students tells him about the video on Kim's phone showing the army killing animals. Since bringing a mobile phone to training was not allowed, the captain confiscates it. A little later, Jung goes outside to study in the field and Kim, seeking revenge for his phone, follows him. They start fighting, and Sung tries to break it up. Suddenly, a large purple sphere falls near them, and a massive alien emerges, eating Jung. Just as it's about to attack Sung, Captain Lee Chun arrives and saves him. The monster then retracts back into the sphere form. Meanwhile, we see that other spheres are also falling from the sky. The scene cuts back to the army camp from the beginning of the movie, where smaller monsters emerge from the sphere and kill all the soldiers, except Lee Chun, who somehow manages to survive. He receives a call from his superior, informing him that the monsters are killing people rapidly and that he must quickly train the students in shooting. The next day, after basic training, Lee Chun takes the students to a shooting range. As they are going, the students notice that the entire city is deserted, with no people in sight. At the range, they practice firing, but except for a girl named Josa, everyone's aim is extremely poor. On their way back to school, Lee Chun's superior notices a lot of scattered items along the road. He instructs the students to search around for food and other supplies while he moves ahead with his soldiers. During this, one of the students discovers a severed arm holding a gun, which causes them all to scream in horror. Suddenly, a swarm of small monsters appears and begins attacking and eating the students. In a frenzy to save their lives, the students scatter in different directions. After a fierce fight, the soldiers manage to kill the monsters in the area. At this point, the army explains to the students that the purple spheres have been releasing monsters for several days, who attack and eat humans, and that's why they're receiving this training. Terrified, the students return to school and start planning an escape. However, after one failed attempt, they try again. But just as they're about to leave, a large monster sphere lands in the schoolyard. Numerous small monsters emerge and attack, killing many students and soldiers. The remaining survivors flee into the school building and lock the doors, but the creatures start breaking in. Seeing the situation, Captain Lee Chun and his superior decide to evacuate the students. They load everyone into 2 trucks and start leaving. While climbing onto one of the trucks, a girl falls, and in front of the students, a monster brutally kills and eats her, intensifying their fear. Lee Chun manages to get his truck to the camp with the students, but the other truck is attacked by a monster, causing it to overturn and killing Lee Chun's superior. However, the students in the overturned truck manage to kill the monster. Back at the camp, Captain Lee Chun and the remaining students are anxiously waiting, wondering why their friends haven't arrived yet. Determined, Lee Chun decides to go back and search for them. However, his senior commander forbids him from leaving, so he discreetly steals the truck keys and sets out to rescue the students. Meanwhile, the students, now on foot, spot a nearby house. Just then, a monster attacks, and they quickly hide in a room, sealing off all entry points. They want to escape, but are too frightened by the alien outside. They come up with a plan. They turn on the TV in the room and quietly exit through the back window. But as they make their escape, the alien sees them and begins to attack. Meanwhile, Captain Lee Chun hears noises coming from the back of the truck. It turns out that some students had hidden there to come along and help rescue their friends. Eventually, Captain Lee Chun agrees to take them along. Following the trail left by the missing students, they reach the house where the monster is attacking them. Song, using her gun, manages to shoot and kill the monster, and Captain Lee Chun safely rescues everyone and brings them back to camp. His commander is furious with him for disobeying orders, but he ultimately forgives him, acknowledging his bravery. The students begin adapting to this harsh environment. Soon after, a scene shows the high-ranking commanders meeting to discuss their strategy. They decide that it's time to enter the city and eliminate all the monsters there. Hearing this, the students are terrified and can barely eat dinner. Sensing their fear, Lee Chun joins them and lifts their spirits by joking around and cooking noodles for them, which they all enjoy. The next day, they head into the city to hunt the monsters. On the way, a toy car's sound attracts a horde of monsters, which immediately attack. They manage to kill many of them, but several monsters escape into nearby houses. Inside these houses, they find many injured soldiers hiding in terrible condition. Now realizing that the monsters are attracted to sound, they devise a plan. The following day, they plant bombs throughout a building and use large speakers to create loud sounds, luring the monsters toward the building. As the monsters approach, Lee Chun realizes that the bombs aren't fully set up yet. He tells the commander to take the students and leave while he completes the job. The commander, reluctant to abandon him, eventually follows orders to get the students to safety. Lee Chun activates the bombs and tries to escape, but he's soon surrounded by a swarm of monsters. Over the radio, he orders his team to detonate the bombs. No one wants to comply, but he insists, saying it's the only way. We see a final smile on Lee Chun's face just as the bombs explode, destroying the entire building. And with that, the season ends.